Hey there, it's Notes from the Mat with Sparkle and Sweat. How's it going? I'm out in the woods today. Oh goodness, here comes the wind. Hopefully it dies down. Can you hear that? Say hi, Bailey. That's the dog. Hey, Bailey. Look, she's like, no. So anyway, let's try to get the sun out of the place. So I am out hiking around in the woods today, practicing a little bit of self-care. And you ask me, hey, what's self-care? Well, self-care is how I rejuvenate my tank. I recognize that in order for me to go out and be in the world, do my job, be in relationship with others, and in relationship with myself, there are certain things that I need to do for myself in order to refill my tank. There are certain areas in my life for self-care that I like to focus on. One of them is my physical health, my emotional health, and my spirituality. Now for me, hiking in the woods takes care of all three of those areas within my life, and it does. It helps me be able to connect with the world and for me to gain my focus back, because sometimes personally I've noticed if I don't do self-care, if I don't treat it like a discipline rather than a nicety, I don't function well. And most people do not function well if they do not have some sort of self-care. Now I know that some people will tell me, hey, you know what, I go home and I have a glass of wine and I unwind. I'm like, okay, but if it's just having a glass of wine to have a glass of wine and you're just not taking care of anything else but to have that glass of wine, I want you to ask yourself, what is that particular glass of wine? What area of my life is that helping me rejuvenate? Is it helping me rejuvenate my physical, my emotional, or my spiritual aspects? You have to ask yourself those things. So my question to you, my friends, out there in video land, is what do you do and how do you do your self-care? How can you make it a discipline rather than it being a nicety? Because if it's a discipline, you'll be accountable for it and you will definitely be responsible for it, and you will recognize that over a period of time, if you do that, you will feel so much better in your mind, your body, and your soul. You just will. And you'll recognize that other people will appreciate that you're doing that self-care as well. Okay, well that's all I have. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask me. I don't mind talking about it. Self-care and compassion fatigue and burnout and all that stuff is stuff that I talk about in my practice and in teachings and classes that I do. So again, if you have any questions about anything that I talk about, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Okay? Well then, I'm gonna say, live long and prosper, and namaste.